Shalom. Kol Holo Yahweh Bahashem Yahushai Bahashem Rahahakadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Peace and salutations to the hopeful elect scattered throughout the four corners of the globe. My name's Barad Debar, coming to you from the GMS campus in Indianapolis. And to all those listening and learning, to you, I say Shalom, especially to you so-called blacks, Hispanics, Native Indians that make up the 12 tribes of Israel. As you can see, was just flipping through and, Spirit of had me click on this video. And she went into, fetishizing and the forbidden, black and Latino relationships, coming more into the relationship of women, the Latino woman, and the forbiddenness of being with the so-called black man, and how because it has been forbidden, like through their upbringing, there's been a dealing with colorism. I'm not going to click the video, but as you can see on here, you can go and watch it. She has she has some parts, which I might, check out a few more. But this sparked some thought, of course, because as we see, there is a degenerate or a mindset of the so-called black woman. There also is a mindset that has been pushed within the Latin tribes as well. And as a result, we know, of course, the so-called African-American man, which deals with the tribe of Judah, is actually one of the head tribes. But as a result, they're looked at to be of a low class, of the lowest in many classes. Based on what she mentioned, she said, it would be better to have an Afro-Black or Afro-Hispanic Black American. And Salakia, if you check it out, she pretty much, she was saying it was better to have that than to have an actual African-American man to marry. So you have women who have this ideology because they come from what they say a Christian or Catholic upbringing, and they've seen the racism of colorism and their upbringing, and they've been told to not deal with the so-called black man, that because of a fetish or because it has been forbidden, they've been told not to do it. They have this ideology, these mindsets that pushes them to want to do it that much more. However, she said just because they have a liking to the so-called black man, they doesn't necessarily mean that they really like them or like their family, their upbringing, or have any respect to those things because they have an ideology of what they've been told as they've been growing up, So, so in the end, I just had some thoughts, of based off she said quite a bit within the 3 minutes. And so, of course, I just had some thoughts because, again, overall, this has also been a divide between the so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians. We've been separated as tribes since after Solomon, when the kingdoms have split into the northern kingdom and the southern kingdom. And of course, Esau, he's always had a hand in the things that has gone on. So I'm going to start with this scripture. All right. And this is the book. This is the book of Proverbs chapter 6, verses 20. Salakia, verses 16. It says, "These 6 things doeth the Lord hate. Yea, 7 are an abomination unto him. A proud look, a lying tongue, hands that shed innocent blood, a heart that deviseth wicked imaginations." So these are attributes, of course, of the wicked. All right. Why one of many reasons why the Lord hates Esau Edom, because he carries all of these attributes completely. It says a heart that devises wicked imaginations, because we know about the bloodshed and the wicked imaginations, and maybe we'll go back and touch on these things. But the point I want to get to is the last one. It says feet that be swift to running to mischief, a false witness that speaketh lies, and he that soweth discord among brethren. And so when you look at false witness, falsely speaking ill, because it's been said, that, so-called black men are lazy. It's been said that that the so-called black man, all they want to do is they're hypersexualized. And of course, the media, who is ran by the elites, perpetuated, right? That the so-called black man is all about gangs and violence and guns, scamming, right? These things you have men within the community, within the so-called black community. Of course, in this age, you have 2/3 of the people that hold on to those attributes and push such things. But this thing has been perpetuated and actually have been influenced within the community by who? So-called white man who rules. And he says, and he that soweth discord among brethren. So you cause a division between the so-called black man, Hispanic man, the native tribes. There's been a division as to a coming together, them not really knowing, many of our people not really knowing that we are all of the children of the Most High, the so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians, and that we are all brothers. We're all of the same tribe, or at least we all come from Jacob. So we say it that way, because Jacob had 12 tribes, excuse me. But we all come from Jacob, whose name became Israel, which made up the sons of God. Okay. And so another discord, when we read in Deuteronomy chapter 28, where it says, his eye shall be evil toward his brother. His eye shall be evil toward the wife of his bosom, right? The woman's eye shall be evil toward her husband and the seed, right? Because though during the time of Moses, it was, you initially would have the tribes marry within themselves so that so that tribe can continue to develop and increase. But it wasn't uncommon, it wasn't far-fetched for a man to have a woman of another tribe, and for a man to actually have a woman of another nation as well, and to have multiples, especially if they could take care of them. Consider Solomon as a great example. And so as a result, of all the bloodshed, the lies that is taught about the so-called black man, Hispanic, and Native American man. In this case, the black man is what she's spoken of in this video. This is the reason, she was able to speak on the certain things that she's seen, within the community, within her, within the Latin tribes. And so I got a few scriptures, and hopefully, again, it's edifying, exhorting, uplifting of some sort into the body. This is the book of Isaiah chapter 13, verse 12. Because one thing she mentioned was that, because it is forbidden and you don't see, in time, you starting to see more and more of the mixing of the tribes. But, but it became that forbidden, or, is rare to see so-called black man with a Latin tribe woman. Right. But she said there was a mindset that the woman, had, that she was the prize, and that the men would look at her as such. And so there was this pride that come along with it, as I could actually, say. So it says Isaiah chapter 13, verse 12, it says, I will make a man more precious than fine gold, a man than the gold wedge of Ophir. So he said he's going to make a man very precious. All right. An elect man of Israel is going to be very precious. And it's going to come a time where all the thoughts that these so-called Black, Hispanic, and Native women had, that it's going to go away. They're going to be seeking, first and foremost, a man of the Lord. And so that's who we really are gearing towards, because, Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, he scattered us into this land. And part of our curses was for our women to be out in the streets and to be disrespectful and to not be in order along with ourselves. And so he's going to turn all of that around. This is the book of Isaiah chapter 4, verse 1. And in that day, 7 women shall take hold of one man. So, okay, that's a complete number. But there will be a day in which Yahweh Shem Yahushai is going to change those orders, and those women that were very prideful, that spoke badly and thought harmfully, they're going to have to give an account of all the things that they said. And many of the women, it could be very many, because in the earth there's more women than men. And so, but many women, will miss out on their opportunity. Women who actually had men of the Lord and didn't believe and may have left or caused some type of discord or division within the household, right? And so, again, there's going to be a humbling coming very soon. He says, saying, we will eat our own bread and wear our own apparel. Only let us be called by thy name to take away our reproach. Okay, so it's going to be a point where, women are going to want to be married and be under authority of their husband, and to be submissive unto their husband, to carry their husband's children. Okay, it's going to be a happy thing to have being taken by a man of the Lord. Okay, this is the book of Zephaniah chapter 3, verse 19. It says, behold, at that time I will undo all that afflicted thee, and I will save her that halteth, and gather her that was driven out, and that's Israel. Okay, and I will get them praise and fame in all the land where they have been put to shame. And so shame, is here in the Americas, where everybody, even our women, are looking down upon us, right? But pretty soon he'll give us praise and fame in all the land in which the men of Israel will put to shame. All right. And this will be all by the hand of Yahweh Shem Yahushai. It's the book of Wisdom of Solomon, chapter. Actually, let me get a couple words and then we'll finish with that. Wisdom of Solomon. This was sowing discord among brethren is a phrase, right? And it says the phrase referred to someone who stirs up conflict and stir among family members or community, right? So that's been a stir amongst us, okay? They made that very forbidden, all right, and which caused a division amongst the tribes. So here's derision, actually reproach, because I read that. An expression of rebuke or disapproval, right? And that'll be a thing, when she said, when said she, in Isaiah 41, he said to take away our reproach, because it's, back in time, in ancient times, for a woman to not have bear children or to not have a husband by a certain age, that was frowned upon. And those things will come back again, right? But yet, that's how we're looked at as men today, being rebuked or disproved. It says a cause or occasion of blame, discredit, disgrace, right? And the Lord's going to change all of that for us, okay? For the so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians. Derision, the use of ridicule or scorn to show contempt, right? A state of being laughed or ridiculed, a state of being derided, right? So We are being ridiculed. They're laughing, when they say, in the certain, based off of how she said it, it's like pretty much they would almost accept you dating for a moment. But when it come down to marrying them and bringing them into the household and being attached with the household, then they're like, no, you know. So they're totally against it. But he's going to, again, and all the places in which the so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians were put to shame, he's going to bring fame. All right, this is, we'll end here. This is the Book of Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 5, verse 1. It says, then shall the righteous man stand in great boldness, which is happening now, before the face of such that have afflicted him and made no account for his labors. Right. And those who also, you can add into that, mainly we're talking about the elites. Right. But then those who made no account of the labors also would be, 2/3 of our people. And, in this case, we're dealing with, the women, who have looked down upon the men of the Lord and made no account of the efforts and the work that they've done to please the power of all heaven and earth. All right. But let's go on. He says, when they see it, they shall be troubled with great fear and shall be amazed by the strangeness of his salvation. So the very ones that they looked down upon, the very ones that no one wanted to be around, the very ones that they said, hey, don't make any marriages or covenant with them. Don't help them in any way. These are the ones, the elect men amongst that nation of Israel, are going to receive this strange salvation, being beamed up into the chariots, so far beyond all that looked for, right? So everyone is going to take note of this. And they, repenting and groaning for anguish of spirit, shall say within themselves, this was he whom we had sometimes in derision and the proverbs of reproach, right? See? So it's going to be 2/3, which makes up men and women and children, those who spoke against the prophets. But then again, in this particular case, we're dealing with showing that the man in the end will be that prized possession. Okay. Sometimes in reproach, it says, we fools counted his life madness and his end to be without honor. And that's how the world sees the so-called black, Hispanic, and Native men, American man, because we have no power in this world. But those of the elect, again, harp on that enough, is going to have the power, have the words, the knowledge, wisdom, and understanding, which is a power in itself, So it's going to be shown the honor that Yahweh Bashim Yahushai is going to give. It says, then shall they know who are my chosen, right? How is he numbered among the children of the Most High, and his lot is with us among the saints, which are the Israelites. It says, therefore have we erred from the way of truth, and the light of righteousness have not shined unto us, and the sun of righteousness arose not upon us. Because again, the truth was out there and you declined it. All right. And so there's more we can go, but let me get this last one. I know it said last scripture. I might have read this already, but Salakia, let's see. I know I quoted it just now, so I just want to end there. This is the book of Second Esdras. Actually, no, I haven't. Okay, the water. Call all Yabashim Yahushai. And go one verse, maybe a couple verses up. All right, verse 32 says, for they shall waste and take away their goods and cast them out of their houses. So there's going to be a time of where Jacob's trouble increase, where all chaos and hell is going to be happening upon the earth. And men and women at that time is going to be looking for a man for protection. And of course, more than likely a man of the Lord. And so it's going to be made known in that time when he says that his servants shall eat and they shall be hungry, or you shall be hungry, how my servants shall drink and you shall be thirsty, right? So for all things in which people are going to be needing a hedge, that protection in that day, it's going to be given unto his men, to the elect, starting with the 144,000, okay, and that innumerable multitude in which Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai has predestined for salvation. And so a lot of the women and men, in this case, women are going to be looking for that protection, okay, to be able to eat, to be able to not be taken by the enemy. All right. It says, and cast them out of their houses. He says, then shall they be known who are my chosen. All right. And they shall be tried as gold in the fire. And as we mentioned, how he's going to have a man as the gold of Ophir. And he said they're going to be tried as gold in the fire. And when fire hits gold, it takes out the impurities. And then, of course, as they're going through these things, going through the fire, the impurities, it allowed for that gold or that silver to shine that much more. And so this is the last one. Salaki, this last one. It's the book of Proverbs, chapter 4, verse 18. It says, but the path of the just shall be as the shining light, that shineth more and more unto the perfect day. So more and more is going to be made known in measure, little by little. The Lord is going to gradually, he's going to show more and more who his men are, and the ones in which he has been dealing with since the beginning. He says, the wicked, he said, the way of the wicked is as darkness. They know not what they stumble. So when you speak these things against the children of Israel, mainly the men of the Lord, you don't know what you stumble, your ways in general. You know not what you stumble when you do things adverse to Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai. This is totally against him. It says, my son, attend to my words, incline thy ear to my sayings. It says, let them not depart from thine eyes, keep them in the midst of thine heart. It says, for they are life unto those that find them, and health to all their flesh. So I hope that this lesson was edifying, uplifting, exhorting of some sort to the body. Before I end, I'd like to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem, Rahahakadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Peace and salutations to the hopeful elect scattered throughout the four corners of the globe. And to all those listening and learning, to you, I say, Shalom.